friend, shall we settle into a position that is relaxed and erect? If you have tension in your shoulders, you could roll your shoulders a few times. Take in a full breath, open up space, feel the space between your shoulder blades, feel the space between your ribs. Below your tailbone is rooted in the earth. Above your crown opens out to the sky. Breath comes in and goes out. Filled and emptied. No need to force the breath or to push it whatsoever. It comes in. Let it come unobstructed. Let it flow through your nostrils down into the chest and flow into the bloodstream and enter all of the limbs of your body. And the breath sweeps out from every cell, converging in the lungs and then rising and diffusing through the nostrils as you sense its spiral out into the distance. The widening gyre of the breath rippling out with each exhalation farther and farther. Then you need not breathe in again, you are breathed into and filled. We undertake this act of awareness not in a void, but located right here in this landscape, under this sky, surrounded by trees and fellow human beings and all manner of kindred folk, transacting life between ourselves with each breath. We enter in upon the earth breath, breathed in through the nose and out through the nose. And the breath rolls out like a carpet over the land in all directions around you. Spreading horizontally. And evoking perhaps the tawny color of the earth, an ochre yellow. Conscious of the bones that hold up our flesh and the flesh itself, its musculature, these bones and muscles conforming themselves to the lineaments of nearby mountains, vast mineral deposits underground, and the loam of the earth. Stone and clay. In the land, in our bodies, and in what we call our mind. The psychic attributes of endurance and patience. A tendency to be motionless, stable. But now the breath shifts and we inhale through the nose, but exhale now through the mouth. And suddenly the direction of the subtle breath has changed, no longer issuing out horizontally, but descending, flowing down, cascading down. As though a waterfall flowed down from the top of your head, down into the earth. Evoking greenery, the greenness of water. And intuitively related to the blood and lymph, the liquid that constantly circulates through the arteries and veins of one's body, and which is continuously renewed when we sip water. Sense the need for it in your thirst. Immediately one is kin to the springs, the creeks, the rivers, not hypothetical ones, but these very ones. The river down the road and the water running through the pipes in the walls. One is oneself a tributary of the great hydrological cycle. Moreover, water gushes in the mind and in the heart as a generous instinct, as an inclination toward emotion, sentiment. Connecting beyond the confines of logic. But now the breath shifts again and we inhale through the mouth and exhale through the nose. breath of fire. The direction of the breath is now ascending as a flame leaps up. Quickening to a bright glow. Inclining to a reddish or orange hue. And productive of heat, waves of heat, the sense of radiance that there is a vital heat that doesn't end at one's skin, but emanates out, and conversely, how we imbibe the emanations of heat from other warm bodies and from the sun itself as it enfolds the planet and ourselves. Heat and light not only in the body, but in the mind. As fervor, intensity of conviction, passionate resolve. But now once more the breath shifts again, and we inhale now through the mouth and exhale through the mouth. The breath of air going every which way, zigzag, chaos. There's a kind of ambivalence in it, but also complexity, nuance. As blue as the sky and as boundless free form. It has form, but form of the subtlest kind. Choreography more than structure. It billows through our pores, but billows also in mind and heart, conveying freedom, inspiration. Finally, we find ourselves breathing simultaneously through the nose and mouth both at once. A breath so diaphanous as to be hardly noticeable. A breath that seems to merge into space itself. sensing earth and water and fire and air equilibriously gathered in the land around us, in our body in miniature, and in our very mind, and in the land of the mind, that planet that we discover when this world is turned inside out. Thus refreshed in the spirit of the alchemical maxim, nature rejoices in nature, refreshed by the communion between the earth in the body and the earth on the horizon, the water in our mind and the water in the river, the fire in our heart and the blaze in the stars. The air of our dreams and the exhalations of the forest. We lift our hands. Beloved Sovereign, Almighty God, through the rays of the sun, through the waves of the air, through the all-pervading life in space, purify and revivify me, and I pray, heal my body, heart, and soul. Amen. And when you're ready, we can open our eyes. And for those who are able to stay on just a little longer, we have the very special happiness now of welcoming into our fellowship a dear one I have had the great pleasure to watch grow to adulthood within our community. The son of our dear esteemed friend, Sheikh Nizamunisa, Kamal Nakvi. Kamal, who is now a student at college and who is studying international relations and Islamic history. What a great pleasure it has been for me to know your family, Kamal, and to see the service to the Sufi cause of your dear mother, and to now reach this day on which you've reached out to take hand, to enter into the fellowship of the Inayatiyya as an ashik. And so, dear Kamal, I welcome you. You're up north in Canada. Here it's snowing, but I imagine it's still much colder there where you are. How is it? Are you able even to step outside?
Oh, I tried going outside earlier today. It wasn't a good idea.
No.
Negative 14 degrees Celsius. Yeah.
I remember those days living at the abode. There were some days that my mustache would freeze into one piece. So cold. Chills you to the bone. So I'm glad you're warmly ensconced inside. And indeed, we have the warmth of our whole circle here gathering now to welcome you with so much joy, dear Kamal. toward the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty. The only being united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the messenger, the spirit of guidance. God bless you, illuminate you, protect you, and make your life flourish in the divine service. Amen. Welcome, welcome, Kamal. So, dear friends, I hope that you will have the chance, when possible, to give your salam, give your namaste, give your welcome in whatever form to Kamal when you next see him. He is our sibling on the path. And it's time to come to our closing. So once again, so many thanks to those who have offered their voices, offered their song, offered their wisdom today. Gulruk, Melissa, Baba Jeonaje, the spirit of Dante, Barksdale, and to you, our dear esteemed Hakim, Ilyas Kashani, thank you so much for everything you shared. It was truly inspiring. And now we close and look forward to being together. I hope to see you next week, God willing. Shall we close with the prayer, Khatum? Open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly cometh from within. Disclose to us thy divine light, which is hidden in our souls, that we may know and understand life better. Most merciful and compassionate God, give us thy great goodness. Teach us thy loving forgiveness. Raise us above the distinctions and differences which divide us. Send us the peace of thy divine spirit, and unite us all in thy perfect being.